Hi, everyGbo.com, and today I'm going to speak to you about landscape photography using a telelens. So for that I'm going to use my Olympus, my OM system OM1 with the 40 to 150 mm 2.8. Well, by the way, this camera was the first one that Digiphoto received, and they sent it to me, so I thank them for that. I give you links of their website in description. And for long exposure and using polarizer, all this, I'm going to use the kit by B.way. Already presented this kit, okay, but I asked them if they could send me another one with the exact diameter, 72 mm. So I'm going to speak about it. I'll speak about the kit also, but I'll show you the result you can get with long exposure and telelens. Okay, for many people landscape photography is always well, for many people it's not everyone, but many people it's wide angle photography, when actually you can use a telelens. So wow, the presentation is stunning. I really love it. Okay, I'll tell you a bit more just after about the kit. Okay, the first thing you have to get is the base filter, which is a UV filter. You actually place it on the lens, and then you will add the extra filter magnetically. Okay, so I'm going to speak about the kit a bit, but show you some result and the effect you can get. Okay, first thing, when you're going to use a telelens, if there is a special ring to connect to the where to fix the tripod, use it there. Don't put your tripod on the camera but on the lens. Why? Because this way the weight is on the center of the tripod, not more in front. Okay, if it was forward, you risk to have your gear that tips over forward. Okay, so it's really important when you have this special system to hook your or to screw your tripod on there, do it there, not on the camera. Well, it's almost raining. Well, it is raining there. Okay, so what I really like is that the water is moving, so I'm going to get in long exposure this really silky. Maybe with a bit of luck will be winded and trees in front of here, so it will be like a kind of Adamski look with everything moved except the subject with a small house you're going to see right now. So I'm going to show you how you use the filter, how you place them, which one I use and all that. So first I'm going to place the UV filter, which is the basic, and then on top of it I'll put the polarizer. So I will take out some of the reflection. Then on top of it I will put a GND, but I'll put it upside down so it cut all this light that there is on the water. And then on top of that an ND 3.0, which is ND 1000, 10 stops to cut all the light, get a long exposure. So let's see results. First a picture with no filter, with the just the UV basic, the base. Okay, on ISO 200 f8 1/50th of a second. So let's go for it. I put the delay of 2 seconds when I press. Okay, I had to stop because it started to rain really strong and I'm really all wet now, and placing the filter was getting water on the filter, so it was the program was cleaning one, getting the other one. So wow, now I've got it. Okay, f8 50 seconds. So let's see what I get. Clear that I really trust the weather sealing of this camera and lens. Kids, don't play with this at home. Okay, the thing of using a circular filter with the right size of your diameter of your lens is you can still use the sun hood. Well, in this case it's more like an umbrella for rain. Okay, well, doesn't matter, really useful. Okay, the typical use of a graded filter is to cut light that comes from the sky. Okay, but in this case there is more light on the water, so upside down, and I use to cut the light coming from the water. Okay, so it's the curtain of rain right now. It gives a lot of light back, so I had to close to f11 because it was overexposed. So let's see what's going on. I'm completely wet right now. Okay, so let's see 1 minute exposure what I get. when we speak about long exposure, we almost always think about water, silky water, but here I've got wheat, I think it's called, I can't remember, okay, to make bread, okay, so I'm going to make pictures. There's a bit of wind, okay, I hope the exposure will be long enough to give this silky aspect, but with the plants, okay. First I've placed the polarizer to get more contrasty clouds. Then I place this graded filter, okay, to cut light on the sky, and then the ND 3.0, which gives me like 10 stops, yeah, ND 1000, same thing, 10 stops, so to get the whole thing to have long exposure. Okay. Well, a special place today, the one in the island of Noirmoutier. There is Gregory Audubert, who is the expert of the area, photographer, YouTuber also. And here's the water is going to go down, and there's a road there. I'm using the filter system by B.way, the active set here, and it's using the S system, okay? There's a friend of Greg that is coming, so we told him to stop there, and we're going to make a close-up of the car with the lights and see how it comes out. I know what your question is. Why do you need to use a telelens for landscape photography when everyone knows you should use wide angle? Who said that? Who said you need to use wide angle? Who said you need to use telelens? Well, this is that simple. When you get to a place, you see the landscape. If you don't move your eyes, more or less the angle you cover is about 50mm full frame, okay? If you move a bit your eyes, we speak about the equivalent of 35mm, okay? So what does this mean? Well, this is that simple. If you angle the lens you use as an angle that covers more than what you would see, then it's different than reality. And if you use a lens that covers less than what your eyes are seeing, well, it's also not reality. It means it's like if you had like binoculars like this, okay? So if you do documentary photography, I think maybe it would be good to look like reality, someone that gets to the place, recognize the place, oh, that's it. But when you do look at the artistic side of your picture, it doesn't matter. You just show how you want to show the place. If you want to show it a lot larger than it seems to be, or a lot further or not narrower, it doesn't matter. It's down to you, okay? So there's nothing wrong or bad or good or better. It's just a matter of your decision, okay? So actually I saw a video by Peter McKinnon a few years ago. He was interviewing a girl, a landscape photographer, and she was using a lot a Canon 100 to 400mm, and I really loved the way she was going to reach things that were really far. And she could use the compression side aspect of telelens, so it would look like compressed, okay? So I really thought it was great. So this is what we're going to try to do here, to compress this depth here to give a different look, okay? So let's do it. Very often when we have a filter set, filter kits, whether they're square or round or whatever, these one are by B.way, magnetic filters, we tend to use ND filters to do long exposure. And we end up doing everything long exposure. Well, I do myself very often, but in this case I'm going to show you that you could just play with the polarizer. What is going to do this polarizer? It's going to give a bit more contrast to the clouds and sky, and a bit saturated colors, and that's it. So just this one. The other day they were asking me how do you know a polarizer is properly placed? Well, it's that easy. You place it, you turn it, you look, and when it looks as you like, that's fine, that's it. So you can use a polarizer to eliminate reflection on water and on the glass, but not on metal. It doesn't matter, but you have always water present in many things, like the clouds, on the leaves here. So you turn and see if it gets more saturated, if more contrasty, and you like it, that's it. That's simple. When you use a telelens, take care, because it compresses a lot. So if you really work wide open, the first things, the leaves, the tree leaves here, they will look like a small stain on your picture. So don't open too much the aperture, otherwise you won't see much what it is, and it won't be nice on the picture. So I'm going probably to work on 5.6, something like this, to have a bit more depth of field. So it's still out of focus, but we still can guess what it is, okay? It doesn't look like some stain on your sensor, okay? So when I'm going to make pictures like this, I'm going to make sure the clouds are at the limit of getting overexposed, okay? I've got the warning here, okay? A highlight warning. Why? Because this way I get full details in shadows, okay? And after, in post-production, I will lower the level of the highlights, so I keep the right lighting in the shadows, and I've got the cloud as I want. But take care, don't go too far, otherwise you will lose texture in the clouds, okay? So let's go for it. The big question is, where do I put the point of focus? First, middle, very far? Well, if you put really far, when you look at the picture, sometimes it's hard to see something interesting in focus. It's so far, so you don't know yet, you don't know much, you don't see really what you're seeing. You see all this out of focus. Okay, if you do it too close, in this case this is in the shadow, so you have something in focus but it's not that nice, and then you have the whole thing lit in the back that is out of focus. So I'm going to do like something like 2/3 in the back, okay? But it's not one thing is wrong and one thing is right. It's a matter of what you like, okay? How you want to show the place, okay? So when you're in this situation, well, decide if you want to do several pictures. You make one really close, one middle, and one really far, okay? And you decide which one you like best. Obviously, you could have everything in focus, doing focus stacking. Make several pictures, changing the point of focus in depth, okay, and then you stack everything together. Everything will be in focus. Is it better? Well, it depends on you, not on me. It depends what you like. A matter of taste. I would not say good taste or bad taste, but a matter of preferences, okay? I prefer this or I prefer that, okay? So when you're here, make several pictures to make sure that after you decide what you like best. If you have a style already, well, keep to your style, but if you don't know yet what you will like better, try several things. Obviously, if you have a prime lens, telelens, the framing will depend on where you place the camera, okay? But if you have a zoom, you can actually change to have different framing. Many people think that it will change the perspective. It will not change it. What sets the perspective is the distance between the camera and the subject. If you touch your zoom, you change the focal length, perspective is the same, but depth of field is different. Because the longer the lens, the shorter depth of field, and the shorter the lens, or the wider the lens, the deeper the depth of field. Okay, so take it into account and play with that. I could change it and get more details, less details, what I want to get. Okay. So I turn right just a bit. I see some windmill, just there, windmills. So I use my lens to close up on it, and I want to do two kinds of picture. I like the clouds. I like that you have two layers. Well, you have three layers actually. You have the clouds, which is sky, then you have some brown, then you have some green. I think it's interesting. Okay, so we're gonna get two kind of picture. One with normal speed, okay, to freeze the wings of, I don't know if you call it wings of the meal, okay, and then one with long exposure, so we get it moved, okay. Well, I just made some pictures, but there is a tractor there, okay? So this is not a problem. It means that when I do normal speed picture, that's fine. If I do long exposure, well, I will have like a stain of the tractor that is moving, okay? So it means that if I wait for it to be at the end of the field, or I do an exposure that is long enough, so it's all erased, okay? But now we're going to place the filters. First filter I'm going to place is this GND, this graded filter, 0.9, which is 3 stops. I'm not going to change exposure, but I want you to see how it cuts light in the sky. It's really, really nice. I like to have the windmill, to have one of the wing that is at the top, okay? Blades, I think you call that blades, probably, okay, in this case. And obviously I have to take out the timer that I use in long exposure to click just at the right moment. But if you are not sure to click at the exactly right moment, you could put continuous shooting and get several pictures and pick the one where the blades are exactly as you want, okay? But well, now we're going to do long exposure, see the results. Now I'm going to use the ND 3.0 10 stops, like ND 1000, place it to really cut light, and I've got to have this motion blur on the blades of the windmill, okay? Well, after placing the 10 stop, it's around 2 seconds, I think, 1 second, 2 seconds, I can't remember, okay? Doesn't matter. This way the wings, the blades will be moved, but take into account that the planes also will be moved, okay? So we need to check if you like the look, okay? So but let's try. The problem of 2 seconds, it is too long, so we don't actually see the blades. If it was sun shining on it, yeah, we would see it. But in this case, we don't see them, so it just looks like a stick in there, okay? So we're going to remove the 10 stop, put 6 stops, so we see some trail, okay? I think it will be better. I am still on 5.6 aperture. And actually I don't have a 5 stop, I don't have a 7 stop, so I could play around the 6 stops easily. I just play with, I change my aperture, it won't change much, no problem with depth of field. I think in this case I would be a bit more close, a bit more open, depends if it's not okay. And so I can play with speeds to have the trail that is long enough to be viewable and not too long, so you don't see it anymore, okay? So let's play with it. Well, it depends on your preferences, okay? I like it this way. If it was really sunny, it could be longer, because then you have like a white trail. That's not bad, okay? But in this case, I think that's fine on 1/4, 1/5 of a second, okay? Well, I get the blades with a small motion blur, and between 1/4 and 1/8 of a second, I think it's fine, okay? But if you want to try, it depends on the wind that day, the speed, okay? So you cannot compare, okay? So just try and see what you get, okay? So before getting to conclusion, I wanted to say where I am, okay? I'm in France, in Vendée. This is where I was born, although I live abroad for more than 35 years now. Well, for me, abroad is here, okay? And my Vendée is the province, okay? The city I'm from, or the town, I should say the town, is Fontenay-le-Comte, is over there, okay? And this train rail, it's not used anymore. I don't think, I'm not sure if it was from Poitiers to Paris, I'm not sure, but it's not used anymore. And it gets close to my former parents' house, because they've moved, okay? And when I was a kid, I was playing on this railway, okay? It was stopped and there was no train then, okay? So I remember, okay? And also the part in the video where you see these fishing huts, this is a place called Femoro. It used to be carbon mines, coal mines, okay? And they don't use it anymore, but it's a small museum, so if one day you come to the area, well, you can visit the museum. Kids, they get dressed as a miner. It's really great, it's really nice, okay? So, wow, this is the area where I was born, okay? So, let's get to conclusion. Whoa, 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 whoa! I was going to forget. Gregory, sorry. Well, Greg is Gregory Audubert is a photographer that is on the seaside in the island of Noirmoutier, and part of the video here was recorded there. Some pictures were from there. So thank you to him for receiving me, speaking to me. Also uses B.way, by the way. B.way, by the way, that's funny to say it this way, okay? So please check his YouTube channel. I'll leave you the link in the description. Great guy. Have a look at what he does. Fantastic, okay? So, conclusion. Well, as you can see, it is completely possible to do landscape photography with a telelens. No problem. Honestly, I think whether it's with wide angle or whether it's with telelens or normal lens, doesn't matter. Get some filter kit, okay? Why? It's not just ND filters. Many people think landscape is long exposure is ND filter. No, it is several filters. It's why a kit is always better, because you get like a polarizer, which is really useful, graded filter, all this, okay? So as you can see, sometimes I use the 6 stop, 10 stops. It depends on the situation. So if you have just one filter, you're really stuck and you don't always do what you would like to do. So a kit is always cheaper also to get a kit than separate, okay? Is it better, a circular kit or square filters? Well, actually it depends on you. Honestly, I think this is more practical. This is magnetic, really fast, really quick to use, okay. But landscape photographers, very often they prefer to have square filters or rectangle filters, because when they have a graded filter, they can really place it precisely, so they prefer square. But if you're the kind of guy who is walking around, stop, make a picture, and then keep walking for kilometers, you will prefer this. If you're a guy that you go early morning, you have time, get a coffee, you prefer square filters. So it's down to you, but get some filters, honestly, okay? So that's it. Conclusion, you can do pictures, landscape picture with a telelens, okay? So thank you very much, B.way, for sending me this filter on 72mm size. I already had another size I had reviewed, but this way, on this lens, I could use the sunshade, so fantastic, okay? So if you're interested, I'll leave you a link of where you can actually buy them, okay? So thank you very much for watching the video. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, small button down here, and also a small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. I'll also leave you links of my gear on Amazon and a link to my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. You can now also do donation on any video, a small heart with a $sign, and you can make a donation there. No obligation, but it really helps. So thank you very much. Please take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye.